Good morning, everyone. Dr. Victoria Scarbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. And I want to do a card reading on the new moon in Aquarius that's happening today. The new moon is at 5 degrees of Aquarius. It is square Uranus in Taurus. What's significant about that is Uranus is the ruling planet of Aquarius. The square that is happening is a last quarter crisis in belief square, or crisis in consciousness. So we're all going through some manner of crisis in what we believe to be true or what we thought was true, and that is being challenged. Of course, Aquarius is the sign associated with the common good. It is associated with revolution and evolution. It's associated with technology, friendship, but it's also the sign of the anarchist. You know, the person who is disrupting things for the sake of disrupting things. Ultimately, it's about breaking free from the constraints and the social order that oppresses us, and hopefully we can move to the other side of that and come from a more enlightened place. Hopefully, certainly in the United States, big things are happening. Whether we like it or not, Donald Trump is the most powerful person on the planet as the President of the United States, because the United States is the most powerful country on the planet. And yet, you know, as we look at it, it seems all very completely dysfunctional and split and kind of split in half, probably not seen as evidently as it is now. But I want to do a reading and see what is it that we are to learn from this new moon in Aquarius. The politics may or may not come into this reading. I will do another reading now with this new moon. In Aquarius on the more political stuff. But this is just a general reading for us to kind of see what it is that we're here to learn and gather from this experience. So I'm using the Tower of the Spirit. It's one of my more abstract decks, and it is very connected to the Tree of Life and the Kabbalah. It is done by Pamela Eakins, PhD, and it's a great tarot deck, and the book is a great reference for Kabbalah and tarot. So if you're interested in that, it's a great book. Okay, so I'm just cutting the cards. Let's see what we have here. All right, our immediate environment. Okay, we have the 8 of water, the 8 of cups, still waters. This card in the Rider-Waite is the gentleman walking away from all the cups. And so it's sort of a withdrawal card. And this too is kind of a withdrawal card, and we can see that there's a sense of containment in this card. It's also an 8 card, and so 8s are about karma. 8s, as you sow, so shall you reap. And we can see that that being that dealing with the element of water. It's the element of our emotions, our feelings, and as you sow, so shall you reap. And so this is a reminder, really, in my sense, in my idea, that you know, kind of what you're giving out is what you're gonna receive back. And so it pays to, or it is smart to send out positive vibrations, because if that's what you want back, that's what you need to give. The 8s in the tarot and in the Kabbalah are associated with Hod. Hod deals with Mercury, and Mercury is the planet of the mind. And so this is saying that on a certain level, it's all in our mind. It's all in our mind. It's what we think and what we feel about what we're thinking. So we do have to be aware of our thoughts as they pertain to our feelings. And this card also has and so of course that sense of containment and to a certain extent separation. There's a sense of separation here and a reevaluation of, is the path that I'm taking the one that I put all this energy into? Is this the path that I need to continue to move towards, or do I need to move toward a more spiritual, um, fulfilling place, something that's going to sort of fill my soul and feed my soul? And when we come to these points of crisis, like we find ourselves in now, we ask that question. Am I utilizing my energy to the best of its ability? 8. Um, and does it feel good? Water, right? So these are questions that we're asking. Let's see what's crossing that. Okay, we have the 7 of fire. Sevens are about self understanding. Fire is spirit, and there is a need and a challenge to connect with the fire within. The 7 of fire in the other decks is the guy standing up, and he has the wand, and there's all these other wands coming at him, but he has the moral high ground. So there is a challenge. How do I find the courage to make the changes that I know are right for me? How do I do that? That's the challenge here. Let's see what's at the root of this. Okay, we have Mother Earth. This is the Mother of Earth. This is the Queen of Pentacles in the other decks. This is about sustaining your life, sustaining your planet, sustaining your health. And so there's a health challenge here for a lot of us. The stress that's going on, the energies of transformation can be very challenging to our physical bodies, and so we need to understand that we need to care, and that needs to be of care and concern for us. We need to be concerned about how to sustain ourselves through all these changes that are happening around us. Um, and I think that as the root of the reading, there can be a sense of insecurity. A lot of a lot of change is emotionally difficult, um, and based on our sense of feeling insecure if things change, right? So there is that energy. But with the Earth Mother at the root, she is saying, ground yourself, take care of your physical body, rest when you need to rest, eat when you need to eat, watch what you're eating, give your body, the only body you have this time around, um, give it the food and the care and the nutrients that it needs so that it can support the changes that you're going through. Let's see what's in the past. Okay, we have the Strength card. And this kind of is also a repeat in a way of what I just said about the root card. And we have been strong. We've gotten through this. It's been very difficult. The Strength card, deals with in this deck we can see there's the light and the dark here. We can see that there's a snake moving up. This is the Kundalini force, and then the center pillar. Um, this is about balance. It's about utilizing your sort of goddess given life, and to help support yourself, and the societies that you live in and the world that you create. So the Strength card is also an 8 card. So we have 8 again here, and 8 being as you sow, so shall you reap. So far we have 8s and 7s in the deck. All right, let's see what's in the sky. Okay, we have the Brother Wind card. This is the This is the Knight of Swords. And in this deck, I don't know if you can see it. Let me see. But his face is that of a skeleton. And the energy, just looking at the energy of this card, there seems to be a lot of chaos. There seems to be a lot of death because of the skeleton here. There's a sword sort of flying around. And there's a sense of just like fighting for the sake of your like point of view, or you're fighting, and what it's doing is it's sort of creating this very chaotic and frankly dangerous energy, right? I mean, the swords are flying, and when swords, I mean, if you were in your kitchen and all of a sudden all the knives sort of stood up and started flying around the room, you would be like, right? Jump under something. And so we do this. This indicates that we do need to be very cautious, because the energy out there is of cutting away, and the brother of wind is often seen as somebody who doesn't think before they act. And so I think this is more of a warning for us to sort of step back from that. And if you're going to act, you need to make each action as a person who holds the sword, right? The sword is action, but it's like sort of mental action, right? So as the person holding the sword, you need to be aware of where that sword is falling. You have to be. You don't want to get caught up in the chaos of the battle and the heat of the battle. And yet, with this card here, we can see that the background, there's sort of a there's darkness in the background, and this is not necessarily, darkness like evils falling. What it indicates is that darkness is the place of generation or regeneration. Everything grows in the dark, and so there is an idea and a sense that what's going on right now, all of this craziness, is a way of sort of opening up um, that new energy, for that new energy to come through. Um, and so, what I would suggest is step back from all of the chaos. Step back. So when you find your mind spinning, or you find your emotions getting triggered, um, it's best to sort of step back from it, to move yourself back. And one of the things that Aquarius can do is um, it can be very objective. And I think that we need to have a certain amount of objectivity when it comes to this new moon, and what's going on during this time. Let's see the immediate future. Okay, so we have the moon card. The moon card. And the moon card is about emotional ups and downs. And so this is going to be a very emotional time. Um, there's can be some lunacy. So again, we have some instability and emotional instability, and all of that. So that is something that is coming to the fore. Um, the moon card is a struggle between our animal nature and our more um, sort of like id and ego and super ego, right? So there's this sort of like visceral, like animalistic nature that we have, that is is we're trying to find a balance between that and what's sort of accepted in polite society, really. And there is a need to sort of curb our animal instincts, but there's also a need to inject some of them into the process, or into uh, our state of affairs, because our state of affairs can become too suffocating. Um, but this generally means that there's going to be a lot of emotional upheaval. And the first card being the Eight of Water, this is a time of introspection, to go deep. The Eight of Waters is still waters, right? My mom always used to say, "Still waters run deep, Vicky." Um, And so we need to find those still waters. We need to find those emotional waters, those still emotional waters, as you know, the world around us seems to be, kind of losing its marbles. How is this seen from the outside? Okay, transformation. Now, what's outside of this? Probably spirit. Because we're kind of all in this as humans. So who's outside of this, right? Spirit is outside of this, or actually, spirit is within us. But this is a process of transformation. It's a process of letting go of things that no longer serve. Um, all right, let's see what's the domestic situation. Okay, we have the Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords is a card of cutting away. This is called dawn. And so we can see we have the darkness here, but we have the growing light. And so this is the light, this is the illumination of the mind, the single-mindedness. Um, this says to me in the place of the domestic situation, what do you choose to focus on? What are you focusing on? Because what you focus on is where your energy is going to go. There's not much you can do about the chaos outside, but there's a lot you can do about focusing within and listening to that still small voice within. We have to remember that in the Kabbalah, that still small voice within is the path connected to Taurus and the Hierophant. So it's about organizing. It's about organizing our life based on listening to our inner self. Okay, hopes and fears. Okay, the star. So we're looking for our guiding star. I would say that's a hope, certainly not a fear. And the outcome. Okay, we have the Father of Water. The Father of Water, the King of Cups, is an energy of being able to have dominion over your life and yet take into consideration your feelings. There's a sense of safety. There's a sense of security here. There's a sense of calming the seas, the emotional seas. And so I think this is about dominion over your feelings, figuring out how you can um, navigate this time and uh, still be the captain of your own ship. As you go through these sort of these tumultuous waters. Let's see if we can pull a major arcana. We have the Brother of Water and the High Priestess. Okay, and so the High Priestess is an energy of balance. Okay, it's interesting that we have this was the past, right? This is the outcome, and we have the same pillars. You see that, the same pillars. Okay, the pillars of light and the pillars of dark. The High Priestess is less about expression and more about knowing and inner knowing and um, utilizing your intuition to move through this time. So it's going to take that ability to step back from all the craziness, so that you can discern and you can see things. And it's best with the High Priestess actually to stay silent, keep it inside, keep the realizations. Write them down if you have to, whatever it is that you need to do. So in my case, so I can remember them. But it's not about expressing your opinion. It's about knowing and sort of staying silent through this period. So it's probably best that you, um, in a way, keep your opinions to yourself. I think you'll be a bit better off. And underneath it all is the King of Fire. It's interesting that, let's see, the King of Fire. This is um, the Father of Fire. I'm sorry. This is the King of Wands. Um, and we also have, oh wow, look at this. So the next three cards underneath the deck is we have the Father of Fire, the Father of Earth, and the Father of Air. And the initial outcome was the Father of Water. So we have all the kings here. And so this is all about dominion. This is about taking control of your life, focusing, um, quelling the emotions, King of uh, Father of Water, finding the direction that your creative direction. What's your creative inspiration and sort of moving in that direction. This king rides a black horse, and the black horse is symbolic of all potential. Black is considered of all potential. And then we have the father of earth, and this is our realization of how to ground and balance and how to manifest the world that we want. And then we have the father of wind, which is about dominion over our mind. So this is really a test for us to, while all this chaos is going on around us, for us to be able to focus, have dominion over our own lives, create the world that we want to create, have the courage to move forward, have the courage to make the changes that you need to make without losing your foundation, without losing your sense of your connection to the earth. And so being very careful with your physical body, making sure that all of that is taken care of. It feels more to me like a physical body thing than it does money, because I feel like money is not the issue here. It's how well you're taking care of yourself and your planet. Because without your body and without your planet, it doesn't matter how much money you have. So that's what I see for this. I hope you enjoyed that. Like and subscribe, and I will be back later, I believe, and do some more of the perhaps the political stuff, um, and see what's going on. Of course, I'm not going to get invested in the answers because I have to have dominion over my own life. But all right, guys, I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.